As we come to a close of our first annual Combating Racism and Anti-Semitism, Shaping an Omni-American Future event, we'd like Aryeh Tepper to address this question, my co-host, of course, right beside me. Does our gathering over the past 2 days signify the possibility of a new chapter in the story of Jewish and Black American cultural exchange? Aryeh, what do you think?
Well, that's a great question, Lauren. And in order to try and answer it, let's step back for a second. It's been more than 50 years since the political progress of the civil rights movement, but some Americans on both the right and the left are still thinking in racial categories. Old school racists on the right, progressive race theorists on the left have been enchanted by an idol of the mind that magically reduces people to soulless categories. Throughout this event, we've been stating and restating a basic truth. Race is a soulless category that tells us nothing about the person standing before us. The richness of a person's life is a function of his or her culture, not race. Yes, it's been 50+ years since the glorious progress of the civil rights movement, but the pressure is intensifying again to think in terms of race and racial essentialism. Now, what's the best way to grasp the monumental character of the omni-American blues idiom wisdom tradition, that deep flow of spirited soulfulness and sensitive intelligence that animates the work of Albert Murray, as well as Ralph Ellison, Duke Ellington, Mary Lou Williams, Dizzy Gillespie, and so many others? How's this? It's the cultural complement to the political progress of the civil rights movement, back when we used to talk about the content of people's character. You see, when you focus on character, you're thinking in terms of human excellence. You're living on the level of your consciousness in the realm where the individual truly matters, irrespective of color or ethnicity or anything else. So the new chapter in Black Jewish cultural exchange isn't really a matter of progress. Instead, it's a kind of return, a return to democratic fundamentals, to the basics, a return and rededication to the democratic consciousness to which the founders aspired when they shared the dream of a natural aristocracy determined by virtue and talent, as opposed to an artificial aristocracy founded on wealth and birth and all kinds of other crazy ideas. The American founders didn't get there themselves, but to appropriate the words of Stanley Crouch, the deeper meaning of democracy remains the same, that nobility shows up where it feels like showing up, and that can be just about anywhere. But there's reason for optimism. The return to this noble democratic sensibility, the receptivity to and celebration of human excellence, wherever it feels like showing up, is continually transmitted through what Murray called the fully orchestrated blues statement, jazz. That's right, the return to the noble democratic consciousness of a natural aristocracy is transmitted through jazz. As in, it doesn't matter where you come from, can you swing with the collective, but also communicate in your own distinctive voice? Can you play? Jazz was invented by Black Americans, but anyone with humility, talent, and dedication can learn the vocabulary. In the immortal words of the great jazz trumpeter Miles Davis, I don't care if a dude is purple with green breath, as long as he can swing.